Hello, welcome to the new version of Overcoming Adversity podcast. I'm so excited to bring this back. I have two of my very favorite people here with me that are joining this series. I have Matt Williams and I have Sarah Frias. I'd love for you guys to introduce yourselves.
Hi.
Sarah, after you.
I was going to say you first. So my name is Sarah. I'm the Executive Director of Next Level Recovery Associates. I have been a nurse for a very long time. I've known Amanda for a long time as well in my recovery personally and now professionally as well. Matt, I've known for a couple of years now, and we're super close.
Yeah.
Super close.
Absolutely. Get to know each other real quick in this business.
Yeah.
Yes.
My name is Matt Williams, Chief Heart Officer for Next Level Recovery Associates. Met Amanda in 2011, I want to say.
Wow. Yeah.
Back in the day, working in the industry, left the industry for a little bit.
What industry, Matt?
In the, you can call it the recovery in the treatment center industry.
Yes.
Having been a client of said treatment center that no longer exists, working there, I met you in the admissions office.
Yeah.
And we always stayed in touch. And then when you decided to create this business, gave me the opportunity to become a coach, interventionist, transport, companion, all those good things, which now translate into Chief Heart Officer, which is a fun job of working with clients and also working with our interesting contractors.
Yes. That's a whole new element.
One big family.
Could you redo that introduction that you did with the fun voice before we started? I love that.
Overcoming Adversity with Amanda Marino.
Amanda Marino and Matt Williams and Sarah Frias.
Yeah.
So I love, so I started at Overcoming Adversity podcast with Blake, my former business partner, in 2019. And we actually did that before we developed Next Level. We saw how we worked so well on doing that podcast. And it gave us, this platform to be like, let's try something else together. And we were really, doing it weekly and all that stuff for a long time. And then it just fizzled out as business became really busy. So with the recreation, it used to be about just all different stories of walks of life. Like I've had women on here, a woman on here who was diagnosed with Parkinson's in her 30s. I had people that lost a child, all these, because out of the mental health and addiction space, so many people go through so many things in life, right, that are not just, what we deal with every day. But my idea with bringing this back is to really focus on what we do and the work we do, because there's so much adversity to overcome, with mental health, with eating disorders, with substance use disorder. So thoughts on that, Sarah?
I mean, I feel like I've definitely been, I don't even know. So I just on a side note, Amanda and Blake, I think like 2 years ago, you asked me to do a podcast randomly, and I was so nervous. And luckily, there wasn't cameras at that time. Now there is, so I'm like extra nervous. But I definitely have overcome adversity in different areas. Mental health, substance use disorder, mom life, friendships, career moves. I think everything is like a daily struggle, but also there's so much beauty to it, and
yes.
I love that. Me and Amanda had done a couple Instagram lives about, being a mom and the difficulties surrounding it. And I think that helped a lot of people. So, I mean, my goal always is to absolutely help people, and just even being able to identify that we have been through the same struggles. And
we still go through them, right? Just because we're on this journey doesn't mean we don't struggle.
Yeah.
Try to humanize it. Like this is normal to go through shit,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What about you, Mr. Williams?
Yeah, I think if you're living, there's always something. I can't relate to being a father, but I can relate to being a teacher or a coach. And I think there's certain things that, people don't want to be vulnerable about or chat about because it's considered weak or considered just less than, So being able to get on, and everyone's like, do another podcast. Oh, great. Like how many other podcasts are out there? But I think, regardless, if someone's listening or someone is getting a benefit of it, and that came back to sharing openly about, like, let's just say sobriety. It's like you go through that change of being ashamed, embarrassed. I don't want anybody to know, but it's like the greatest thing that could have happened to you. So then when you get comfortable to share about it, with respects to certain fellowships and certain groups and whatnot, sharing about your experience, strength, and hope, or sharing overcoming, as I say, tragedy and a triumph or an adversity. If you help one person, that's great.
Exactly. That's I think all of our missions, right?
Right. And that was one of the things that I held back. And it took somebody, older with time and kind of a little bit more time on the planet and wisdom. It's just like, in the nicest way, like, who fucking cares if someone has a problem with it? If you're helping that one person, if you're getting to and you're reaching somebody that's struggling or struggling with a family member, whatever it is, you're helping somebody.
Absolutely.
And that's, at the end of the day, all that really matters is that impact.
Yeah. And it takes away like the self, like, when you share it, someone's going to hear it, and we've all gone through stuff. So putting it out there is not going to bring judgment upon you. And if it does, then that's, somebody's own shit. But, all of our mission, I think, is so aligned on our passion, like to do the work that we do. Like Sarah left her nursing career to do this work. Matt has a full life and has a successful business that's now, Chelsea, his wife's. And, Matt you're doing this, both are doing this because you are passionate and you want to do this. You made a conscious choice and wanted to do this work. And that's like one of the greatest things I love about both of you.
Oh, thank you.
Because I really have a lot of love and admiration for you. And I don't think that it's like a working for me. I feel like we're working together. Like, I don't like that. I just don't even like that thought. It just makes me uncomfortable. So I was like, we're a team. We work together.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we get to see a lot of cool change. We get to see a lot of, things that frustrate us when things take longer. But we've also all learned like a lot of compassion in the work that we do, that like sometimes progress for someone is not, this huge 180 shift overnight,
Yeah. It's not linear.
Slow.
It's not a 180. It's like snail's pace.
Yeah. And then we can honor that though. Like I remember we have a client, Sarah and I have a mutual client that you know of, who like I told her I was proud of her, and she cried her eyes out because, as an older woman, she had not been told she was proud of like ever her entire life.
Yeah,
just the little things that you can do that make an impact on people. So what we do is we have an interesting business. When I sometimes I even had a conversation with a therapist the other day, and she's like, I've never heard of this, what you guys do. So like, what is each one of you, what is your favorite thing about what we do? And maybe you can even talk about some of the specific services or a case or something that you enjoy or has been fulfilling or challenging, has been an adversity.
You go first, Matt.
Yeah, I think being in the educational field and the counseling field prior to getting sober myself, I think working with people and having the connection and the love for, the process. But I think, coming into this field and again, having worked in the industry before, it's kind of a different take on it. It's kind of that extended care that's that above and beyond service, right? Where a lot of people, you meet the client where they're at, right? And like some of them, everyone's different and everybody knows that, but really meeting someone where you're like, what's really going on with this person? It's like, whether they're, failure to launch, like the mid-30s male, female that just can't get out of their own way and finally gets their life together. Like the basics, like working with people like on basic like job resumes and things where I have to remember like this person may not be like a hustler or somebody that's like up and at 'em. And it's like even filling out a question is so overwhelmingly hard for them.
Yeah. We have to hold their hand.
Right. And that for me, it kind of puts a lot of things in perspective where I have to slow down. So there is that part of like it helping me. But seeing people turn the corner, seeing that snail's pace, like the littlest win, having somebody get to a point where at one point it was like pulling teeth to have a conversation, to having them open up and start talking about life and them not even realizing it, but me realizing it, remembering how difficult it was, months before or years before, to being an active member in society and being, contributing and being
powerful.
A part of, I think is one of my favorite things.
And that's different than they used to be. Like, I think that the Matt before coming into the coaching realm, just, 12-step recovery, Matt, you were amazing like that too, but you realized real quick in this work, and I shared that with you, and I've watched you evolve. I share this with you all the time, but watched you evolve as like being the greatest person at meeting people where they are.
Yeah.
Like you're really good at that.
And that's the thing. It's like, it takes a lot of work to work on yourself and not overreact, not get so frustrated, and just kind of sit there. I mean, and it's almost like watching somebody be in the throes of addiction and going into a detox, right? And you're watching their life kind of spiral, and you sit there, and every part of you just wants to pick them up, put them in a box, put them in a room, and help and just like get them to a safe place. But you have to let the spot just completely fizzle and spiral to the point of hopefully getting help. And if, you know, I sit there and I look at that person that's, you know, you have to get someone in an intervention and then get them to detox, and then see them months later living a life or doing things differently and starting to change. Again, it kind of echoes what I said before. That's my favorite part, but it's also the most challenging part.
Absolutely.
Because it's just like, and then I just have to think about myself when people tried to help me and they were like, hey, like, your life would be better if you did this. And I was like, hey, you know, F off.
Yeah.
Like, let me tell you.
No, thank you.
Let me, like, I don't need your unsolicited advice.
Yeah. I still don't like unsolicited advice.
And that was coming from family and friends.
Totally.
But seeing that change and being a part of that is just, I think, the best, the most frustrating and the most rewarding.
Absolutely.
For me. Sarah?
Well,
Sarah, see, now you make you comfortable.
Thank you. You know, when Matt was talking, it reminded me of one client that I go to see numerous times a week, and anxiety. And so even when I'm having a bad day or there's, say, a lot of stress going on in life and professionally, I have to forget about my stuff to go there.
Leave it at the door.
Yeah. And when I leave her house, I'm like, wow, I feel so much better, you know? And it's just because I know that I can't bring my stuff in. And just like anything, like when you're working and you have to go home to your family, you know, you don't want to bring that stuff in. And the same applies for our clients. So I appreciate that. It made me appreciate that and be grateful for that.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say that I've never really worked in this industry. You know, I worked as a nurse, like has been discussed before, and I've really worked with a lot of geriatric clients.
That's why you love our older clients and the older families.
And the older families.
The silver sneakers.
Yes, they say I have an old soul. And I have to say, working for Next Level, and I don't have anything to compare it to, which I'm actually very grateful for.
Yeah, you're lucky because me and Matt have had some experiences in our behavioral health field. I've had some great ones and some awful ones. So I'm happy for you that you don't have to go through that.
No, it's amazing. I have to say is communication with the families, the professionals, the clients. Amanda and Matt know my favorite is like a very difficult family. I love just being able to show that like I'm here. What do you need? I'm listening. And for clients as well, I come from a very non-judgmental standpoint. I've done pretty much everything. So there's really, in my head, like no judgment whatsoever. You were thinking about a client. I had a client recently that, you know, family was planning an intervention on. And I said, well, let me talk to him. Have you talked to him? Did you see if he wants to get help? And he said he wanted to get help. So instead of doing an intervention, we ended up doing case management where he got into detox. And he's sober still now. He has a little over 4 months and he's doing amazing. And his mom actually texted me and said, Happy Mother's Day the other day.
I love that.
And, you know, he's no longer a client because our goal isn't to have people for a client or a family forever.
Exactly.
That's not our goal. But like, I have that connection with families and clients, and I know you both do as well, is that I still get texts like, she thought of me to say Happy Mother's Day.
I know, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it really like, I mean, obviously you and my mom and, you know, Johnny and everybody reaching out to say Happy Mother's Day, and Matt as well. I appreciate it. But like that person that like,
Hardest job in the world.
Yeah, is that this client's mother thought of me to say Happy Mother's Day.
Right, because she appreciates you and values you, you know, and you were relate because the son was in the medical field as well. So you were able to, you know, come from a bunch of various lenses in that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
was going to say, what about you?
What about me? I mean, there's so much, you know, because I spent a decade in the marketing, business development, you know, outreach, working with employers and all that stuff. So when I first came into the field, I had zero desire to have direct client contact because I was still so much working on myself. And then, you know, now what I started doing on the side for 2 years before 2019 going on my own, I really fell in love with the work with the whole family. And because that's, I mean, it's talked about in our field, but if you're not really, if you're not comfortable or know what goes on in behavioral health and treatment and all this stuff, it's not just the person that's struggling with the addiction or the eating disorder or the mental health. It's the whole family system, right? We have to work with everybody. So I love doing at this point, I can do a consultation call or hear Sarah's version of what she did or read, our documents and look at it. And within minutes, I already know an idea of a plan. So I love that. I love the creativity. I love that it's different every day. I love the hard situations. I remember when I first started, when I would do an intervention, I would need a full 24 hours after because I was so depleted. Now I can do it, go right back to whatever and it's fine. But, but we do need extra self-care. I took off yesterday to have a spa day because I felt burnout last week. We have to do, in the work that we do, we have to do extra self-care. So I love the creativity, the navigating. I love that we don't have to work under insurance dictation. All the practitioners that work with us are private pay. And I wish that everybody could afford that. We do get people that need to utilize insurance and we help, but with the services and what we're able to do and create, we're not put in a box, and we get to do things, go to people's homes or take them to play pickleball or take them surfing.
Work out at the gym.
We get
Rage
to do
room.
Rage rooms. Yeah, we get to do so many great things that are outside the box that help people because yes, therapy is important. Yes, psychiatry is important, but those are usually 1 hour or 15 minutes or whatever. What happens on the all in the in between? And that's my greatest passion is to meet people with non-judgment, with love. I don't care if whatever you've done. I don't care how many times you slipped. I still love you. I don't care what pathway you choose to go down. If it works for you, I'm here for it and I'll support you. And I think I've had a newfound birth in the past 6 months of just kind of shifting my mentality on my purpose. So creating lasting change for people and family systems is my motto, our motto. But really having this non-judgmental lens, where people can come to me that work in our field that struggle, that, whoever can come to me and know that I'm going to love them and I'm not going to think one different thing of them because anything that they've done. And clients too, and families, you can come to me with whatever. And if there's some progress and then there's slips back, it doesn't mean you've lost everything. Sometimes that's part of your healing journey. And so I just love that I continue to get re-inspired by different things. And having you, having this shift in the past 5 months and having you two step up more, in the ways that you do, just kind of, we get to start over in a way. I mean, utilize what's worked, but we get to start over and create, okay, what can we do better? We're always looking at that. What can we do better? How can we serve the clients better? How can we work better as a team? How can we support our contractors? Who do we need to bring into each job and case? Who's going to be the best fit? That stuff to me, it just sets me on fire.
Yeah, I agree. I really agree.
Yeah.
I just think that, on our end, I like how you brought up with the clinicians and everything. And I always say this, but I feel like I have this special niche with finding when we get a client and I talk to them and I find out maybe some hobbies or who they are. I'm these are who should be on the team. And it works. I have to say, I'm I feel tapping myself on the shoulder, all right, good.
And you should, because I'm like that. And
it's amazing.
You become my right hand in that aspect. And now you don't need me.
I'm this is the person right here.
Yeah. I love that. It's just great. It's you have to be a little crazy to come into this, you have to have a little something. I ask people when they come into the field, what brought you in? What made, Matt, I'm just gonna ask you off the chart, what made you, with having a successful business and having a full life and having your hand in so many things, what made you want to work with us? Me at the time.
Yeah, no, I think you watch people and how they operate, and everybody has highs and lows and has successes and failures and how they deal with that. And I think watching people go through life and then seeing what they do or they start, and you want to be a part of something, all you can do, and all I did was ask, right? And when the time was right, the time was right. And if it was never right, it would, I'm sure I'd still see you along the way and be like, how's everything going? But it's, coming into the field, I was already kind of doing that prior, working with the elementary, middle school, high school population, just in terms of teaching, coaching, and getting to that guidance counselor position. And when my life changed and everything, went to go focus on getting help myself, it was, how do you give back to somebody like that? And, watching being in an actual program and being in a treatment facility and watching people that left early or, oh, I got this job back, I got the car, this and that and the other thing. And then, you get I'm saying the most tragic thing is like, a week later, we're like, oh yeah, so-and-so, crashed their car and died in a canal because they, drinking and driving again. And you're just like, man.
Yeah.
Or watching people have, if they get a third strike, they're going to prison for 25 years. Or if they do this, and just watching that disease win.
Yeah.
Right. And when people get out of places, it's tough. And, you got to cut your teeth on a lot of things. And that's really overwhelming. And I think I was super blessed to have a great support system of people that were sober that, challenged what I wanted to do, supported the things I wanted to do. And I think that was huge. And there wasn't, that's not always the case. So I think having, again, taking it to the next level and having a team of people or having knowledge of what each person or contractor or representative of the company can do for a specific client. It's like, boom, this is a fit for so-and-so and so-and-so. Oh, this is a fit for this doctor and this coach. This would be the perfect transport for this person because they would vibe on this. And it's
that's important.
It just makes the process easier. And, in the beginning, it's obviously tough because you don't know who's going to be a fit and you don't know who's going to work. And there's definitely been clients where, I've sat down and they're like, well, I'm not going to stop doing this. And I'm like, okay. I appreciate the honesty. I just have to note that as long as you're not doing the other thing, and if you do decide to do that again, here's what's going to happen, and you are in agreement with that.
Yeah, we have to reevaluate.
Right. So, yeah, I think that for me, being involved, it's a challenge, and like there's always days that you want to go on like kind of autopilot or, take a self-care day or whatever. But it's like when you get and work with this population, especially having been where they are and know what's possible, that for me is what, again, I love doing.
Yeah. You were just like drawn into it. You were just kind of like called to do it. I felt like, and you reached out and, and I was like,
we were doing a podcast.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, Matt Williams wants to work with me. And I was like, I still feel like that sometimes. That's why
it's exciting.
That's why I told Matt the other day, like, it's easy for me to like just say like whatever to you, but my admiration for you long before you worked for me makes it harder for me to have like conversations with you. It's getting easier,
Good.
But I
hope so.
But it
I am a little intense. I know that.
You're intense, but you're super like, you're just super easy to talk to, and I can, and we're a team, but when we're navigating new waters, and I think we're doing it really beautifully. Like I feel like the community, the Winter Leadership Summit, like all of it went so beautifully. Like, we make a great team. And so, something that felt like such a tragedy to me of like not getting invested in, and then, Blake deciding to go his own way felt like at that moment, like the end of the world, but it's a new world and it's beautiful. And we're doing, like we're recreating what we want to create. And like, I want you guys to have full, like I said from the beginning, like have full, like say, like some things you shared with me the other day, like I had that conversation I needed to have. I heard that, what you want, what you'd like to have autonomy to do. And I fully support that. And like Sarah knows that she can tell me, pretty much anything except for that she cannot say no to coming to Miami to see a client with me when I ask her to. Like she tried to the other day.
Yeah, I went.
Yeah.
She went.
Yeah,
but she tried to be like, I'm not prepared for this. I go, I'm not either. And so we had a little thing, but we get through it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, I was just thinking, I was laughing because to me, when I first met Matt, I was like, is he mean? Like, does he not like me?
The meanest.
The meanest. And now it's like so opposite because I'm like, that's so funny because you used to scare me when I first met you. I don't know why. Because now I'm like non-scared of you whatsoever.
Just think of it. It was basically like you going to Miami. It was, hey, in the middle of the day, can we go stand on a rooftop and take photos in a windy, dark place with masks on?
That's
yeah, it's exactly
it was
what I
COVID time.
That was at my mom's house.
Yay.
That was
let's
COVID.
do that.
Yeah, that was the only time I had met you. Yeah.
So one thing, that was definitely an adjustment for me was you two building your relationship and your rapport and being able to handle stuff without me. I'm like, wait, why is nobody telling me? Why is nobody calling me?
You're out.
Yeah,
you're out. But I'm like, no, this is what I wanted. Like my goal has been able to take steps back, but that's easier said than done.
Delegation.
I was going to say.
Do you know? I'm sure you know with Pro.
But I listen. Stepping away. Well, again,
not stepping away, just stepping in different directions.
No, yeah, of course. But like focusing on and having people that obviously that you love and trust work in your business while you work on your business, yes, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the buck stops with you, but you have two people that I believe feel the same way where the buck stops with us. And it's like, Sarah and I said, it's like, again, like not that we don't want you to know what's going on, but it's like, you don't really need to.
Totally.
Because we got it.
But that's an adjustment.
Yeah.
That take, you know what I mean? As much as I was like honoring it and loving it in one sense,
You're like,
there was the other
going
sense.
on?
I'm like, wait, why is nobody calling me? Why?
Right.
Then I got like insecure in my own business where I have the two awesome people that are running shit and don't need me to do it. So yeah, that was like, just like Merrick turning 18 and me not knowing everything about him. It was like, I was like, no, this is what I've worked for. This is what I want. And I trust, there's no two people I trust more to run away with that and do that. Yeah. So thank you guys. And I love you.
Because if it was a micromanaging situation, I can't speak for her, I wouldn't be here.
Oh no.
I don't
Not a good micromanage.
I don't work well that way.
No.
I take direction. I'm very good at listening.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like that hit, over like the thumb on it.
I'm the anti-micromanager. Yeah. I'm the if you tell me to do something like in a icky way, you can go stick it up your ass. But anyways, so this is a great first get together, reinventing Overcoming Adversity podcast. Yeah. You can follow us on all the streams. You can find us at nextlevelrecoveryassociates.com. Mm-hmm. You can find me, Amanda Marino Recovery, Matt.
And more Williams on Instagram.
So yeah, look for us, check us out, and download and share with your friends. It's so great to be here with my two faves.
Yeah.